Hey guys, DB right here, and today welcome to part 3 of my skate tutorial series. For those of you who have never picked up a skateboard in your life, or whether you may be getting back into skating, or maybe your kids are now out there skateboarding and you want to be part of the fun. So, whether you're an adult getting back into it or a first-time skater, this video is for you. Now, for today, I'm going to be going over just some ways you can have a bit more fun on your skateboard other than just riding around and cruising, where you don't necessarily have to know how to ollie or any of the ollie based tricks. Because to be honest, before you get into ollieing, there is so much more you could start learning and really build up a strong foundation for your skating before you get into ollie based tricks. Things that are just as fun, at least in my opinion. So we're going to be going into that, how to do a basic line with just the basic stuff that I've shown you so far. And we're also going to be going over riding off curbs a little bit. Alright, so without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so I'm going to start with a 360 of right kick turns. Then I'm going to go into a crab walk, which isn't quite a monster walk. It's like smaller. And then I'll probably try and end it on a body varial. See? Keep it simple. See? Even I have trouble, even I mess this up. But you see what you mean? You can do things like that to start to develop your balance and comfort. So start off little kick turns like this. Don't grab the pole though, that's cheating. Do better what Ryan just did. Alright. Second try. So start off doing little things like that. Then maybe once you get that down, you might add something else. Or if you think you can, you can maybe go for 2 180s. Go for a switchblade there. So you see guys, even I mess up. And you know, that's something beginner. That's something beginner, and I messed that up. You know, I've been doing those for 1 to 2 years and I'm still falling doing the basic. But that doesn't stop me from trying, doesn't stop me from enjoying myself doing those, and laughing at myself when I get it wrong. So there's no reason why you can't start off that small and keep developing. So yeah, you saw there I did the free on my second try, and on my third try I was going for that fourth trick that I was going to add to the line was going to be a switchblade, and I messed that up. So clearly I've got to work on my switchblades a bit more. So you see, by just playing around and experimenting like that, you can have quite a bit of fun. So how about I break down the tricks I was just doing and I'll teach you those. That's probably a good idea, because I've just realised I probably haven't I've only taught you the kick turns out of that stuff I was doing. Alright, so let's break down some of these little tricks. First, a revision on the kick turn. Now, don't go for the 180 unless you're confident to. So first, just start off with little ones, and we go full circle. So that's pretty easy. Now, next one, the monster crabs, is that you want your feet basically positioned right, basically, I'm in front of both of the, okay, not both, basically, the feet are basically in where the curve of the nose and tail are. Best place I'm going to have some balance, and so, first, I'm going to go left, so I'm going to lift my left leg a bit, just move through like that, and then lift my right, and do that. Now, at first, you might only be going slow like that, 1 and 2, and that's fine. Over time, you'll get confident that you'll be doing these. No problem. Just again, it takes practice. Now next, dare I say, the body varial. Now, you're pretty much just jumping, twisting in the air, and landing the other way. Now, me, I like to sort of pre-turn my body a bit before I jump. That way, I sort of see the target, and it's just a matter of shuffling these legs around real quick. And again, that could take a lot of practice. It took me a while before I was able to do that, and it used to freak me out every time. So, for now, just get started on those three. And in the meantime, I'll show you some fun things you can do with them. Now, you probably wanted to see me do a proper switchblade, so I'll quickly do that. Why not? For the switchblade, ideally your back foot should be up here towards the nose. Back foot. Around here. And the idea is is that you kick the nose out so it comes out like this, or your leg catches the board in a nose stall, and then just shuffle and switch without this leg touching the ground ideally. Yeah, here I go. Just like that. I'll do another video on switchblades where I can break down the steps a little bit and teach you some other things that will help you with learning it a bit easier, if that makes sense. Like beginner steps you can learn. As you could see, I was using that little hill there as a bank, a similar sort of bank you would find at the skate park. And as you can see, those little kick turn, I was rolling up the bank and then kick turning my way back down. And then I was going up again, I did the body varial. Then another example, I was doing the monster walk back down it. And for just that bit of something extra, I even managed to do a switchblade down it. So these are all tricks you could do at the skate park when rolling up a bank. When rolling up and down a bank, these are all tricks you could try on the skate park. And personally, I think you'd have a lot of fun trying those out. So So as you could see, I was using that hill as sort of like a bank that you would find at a skate park. Now what a bank is, it's just like a sort of ramp that comes up like that. And typically skaters can roll up it, roll down it fakie, or go up and do 180 kick turns, or just kick turn your way down. You know, you can even work on basic tricks like I was just doing just now for that. And you know what? I guarantee you, you'd probably have a lot of fun at the skate park doing that. So don't be afraid to try those. Once you get used to those tricks, doing them stationary and in a line like I was doing here on the flat ground, why not try doing them while rolling up a really small hill or a bank? Well, if you're lucky, you might even find something you can use as a bank on the streets. But yeah, I just wanted to point out that these are little basic things that you can use as tricks at the skate park, that you can do to make your time at the skate park a little bit more fun, rather than just, you know, pushing the board and cruising. So, okay, now with that, I did promise you some curbs, so we're gonna go ahead and do that next. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. When it comes to skating down curbs, it still freaks me out. It does. In fact, I gotta roll down these. I often find like mini curbs, like you sort of find them at on footpaths when someone doesn't put the footpath down correctly and it sort of rises above. You know the type. You usually crash into them and you get thrown from your skateboard. For those of you who have felt that pain before. But if you're on the other side of them, you can definitely use them to practice rolling down a curb, and I got to practice that a lot before I'll try an actual curb every session. So for example, just real quickly, you could find a little curb just like this one, just easily on a driveway or even just the footpath. And so you might want to practice just rolling off that and getting used to that as a first step. Nothing special at this point, just roll off it. And not going to lie to you, the first couple times you do that, it's going to feel awkward because you're not going to be used to it, especially the sudden drop of your back wheels and your back leg coming down. But once you roll down from that, and that's like nothing, then I want you to add this to doing that. Now this is a practice step even on its own. And that is, you're going to be practicing lifting your front trucks up. Because, well, let's say I roll my board off of this seat right here. Hang on. Watch what happens to the front of your board. So let's say I was rolling off this. Now first, your front is immediately going to be the first thing to drop down. So obviously, if I try to roll off just like that, I'd fall, hit the ground hard, and anyone who was watching would probably be pointing and laughing. So we don't want that. Now if I was to ride off this, I'm going to want to lift my trucks up, so when my back wheels come off, it straightens it. So when I come down, I should land relatively straight. Now, obviously this seat's bigger than your normal curb. I was just using it to make my point. Now, you might actually be able to roll through and actually make it off a full curb. However, I would recommend you learn to lift your trucks up. So we will go ahead with the practice step now. So for now, we're just going to be rolling around and just lifting those back trucks. Like, before I hit that pole there, I'm going to want my trucks lifting. So just make sort of like a goal, like an invisible line, or an invisible curb. Now, if you can find a curb somewhere that has a better run-up when you try these on real curbs, the better. Now, in a way, this is actually a good way to sort of introduce you guys to manuals. Because basically that's what you're doing when you ride off a curb. It's basically you're trying to manual into it. And like I said, I myself haven't even mastered this yet. Because, well, I don't roll down curbs that much. It's more of a consistency thing with me. But I do understand enough of the concept that I can at least show you guys. If you guys are going to start rolling down curbs. But like I said, start by rolling down one of those small curbs that I was pointing out just before. And then start doing this practice step, just riding around and lifting your front trucks. Now, when I do it, I'm going to try to lift it just before my trucks would pass that pole. Just like that. Just sort of get used to doing that. Pretty much it's exactly what you're doing. You're doing like a small manual off the curb. You want to try not to release until your back wheels roll off the curb. It'll take some getting used to. Alright, so after you get used to doing that, just on some flat ground, past a certain point, go back to the small curb you found, like the one I was pointing out before, and start rolling down them again, but this time, add the truck lift to it, and get used to that. Because once you've got that, then move yourself to a higher curb, and a higher curb until you're doing them off full curbs. And then maybe you'll start doing them from higher spots to higher spots. That's basically it. Now, if you'll accompany me to my next spot, I'm going to be practicing rolling down some curbs as well. Here we are. I just sort of found this little spot on my way to the actual spot, which, oh no, this is the first sort of decentish sized curb, which I would say that's almost the size of a full curb, that you probably could get enough roll on and then manual down. But here's another fun way to get down that personally for me freaks me out less, And it's another use for the crab walk or monster walk I was doing earlier. Alright. Okay. So, here I am, getting on the board. And so, basically, I'm going to kick turn so this front wheel that's right beneath the tip of my toe there over the crack, and do the same for this one. So there we go, it's down. Now for the other one. And now all I've got to do now is right turn, and I should come off. Bend the legs. Yeah. Okay, I'm quite proud. That's actually the smoothest I've done that so far. So basically, to give you a better look at what's happened, is that my wheels are hanging off the curb like that. And I'm just right turning off the curb. Hey, it's one way to get off the curb if you don't quite have the riding off down yet. And technically you're coming into a 50-50 grind, or 50-50 grind stall, or axle stall I think is another word. If only we had some skate wax on that. Alright, so that's about all I have time for this video. So, well, at least we got to see me ride down a curb doing a way. I could have done it this way. I could have done it this way. Hang on. Up. Push up like that, and then when you roll off, when you're coming off, just push down. But no, I decided to 50-50 grind down that, or axle stall down that, whatever you want to call it. You could even just call it a crab walk down.